Imagine waking up every day feeling in control, motivated, and ready to conquer your goals. That's the power of self-discipline. But here's the thing, it's not about willpower alone. In this audiobook, we'll uncover the secrets to building lasting self-discipline that can transform your life. Think of self-discipline as the invisible force that shapes your destiny. It's the key that unlocks doors to success, happiness, and personal growth. Remember that self-discipline isn't about punishing yourself or living a rigid life. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest desires and long-term vision. You need to understand that self-discipline is a skill you can develop, just like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. It's important to realize that mastering self-discipline isn't a destination, but a journey. As you listen to this audiobook, you'll discover practical strategies to cultivate this powerful trait and harness its potential to reshape your world. Chapter 1. What actually is self-discipline? Now that you understand the power of self-discipline, let's dig a little deeper. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly stick to their goals while others struggle? The answer might surprise you. It's not just about willpower, there's so much more to it. Imagine self-discipline as a garden. You can't just plant seeds and expect a bountiful harvest without proper care. In the same way, true self-discipline requires nurturing and understanding. It's the ability to control your thoughts, feelings, and actions to achieve your goals. But here's the thing, it's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about making conscious choices that align with your long-term aspirations, even when it means saying no to immediate pleasures. You might be thinking, isn't that just willpower? Well, not quite. While willpower and self-discipline are often confused, they're actually quite different. Willpower is like a short burst of energy that helps you resist temptations in the moment. It's like using a fire extinguisher to put out a small flame. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is more like a well-maintained sprinkler system that prevents fires from starting in the first place. Think about it this way. Willpower might help you resist that slice of cake at a party, but self-discipline is what gets you to the gym regularly, even when you don't feel like it. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your goals, not just occasionally resisting temptations. So how do we cultivate this garden of self-discipline? It starts with understanding two key elements: habits and mindset. Habits are like the soil in our garden. They provide the foundation for everything else to grow. Just as rich soil nourishes plants, positive habits nourish our self-discipline. These aren't just any habits, though. We're talking about keystone habits, those fundamental routines that trigger a chain reaction of other positive behaviors. Imagine you start each day by making your bed. It seems small, but it sets the tone for the entire day. You've accomplished something first thing in the morning, and that feeling of accomplishment can motivate you to tackle bigger tasks. One small habit can lead to a day full of productive choices. Now, let's talk about mindset, the fertilizer in our self-discipline garden. Your mindset determines how you view the challenges that come with building self-discipline. Do you see them as obstacles or opportunities? The key is to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing discipline as a punishment, see it as a tool for freedom. Remember, discipline isn't about restricting yourself. It's about giving yourself the control to steer your life towards your desired vision. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and taking the driver's seat. Here's something to consider. Building self-discipline is a lot like building muscle. The more you work on it, the stronger it gets. It requires daily practice and consistency, regardless of how motivated you feel. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, ready to conquer your goals. Other days you'll want to stay in bed. But true self-discipline means showing up and doing the work, even on those tough days. As you continue on this journey, remember that self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress. You're not aiming for a perfectly manicured garden. You're nurturing a wild, beautiful, ever-growing landscape of personal growth. Every setback is a chance to learn, every challenge an opportunity to grow stronger. So are you ready to cultivate your garden of self-discipline? Remember, it's more than just willpower. It's about understanding the interplay between your habits, your mindset, and your daily choices. It's about creating a life where discipline feels less like a chore and more like a pathway to freedom. Chapter 2. Setting clear and meaningful goals. Have you ever noticed how a ship without a destination tends to drift aimlessly at sea? The same principle applies to our lives when we lack clear goals. As we continue our journey to build self-discipline, it's crucial to understand that discipline without direction is like a powerful engine with no steering wheel. Let's explore why setting clear and meaningful goals is the foundation of self-discipline and how you can master this essential skill. Imagine you're an architect designing the blueprint for your dream house. You wouldn't start building without a clear plan, would you? Similarly, your life requires a well-thought-out blueprint in the form of clear, specific goals. These goals act as your North Star, guiding your actions and decisions. Without them, how would you know if you're moving in the right direction? But here's the catch. Not all goals are created equal. Have you ever set a goal that felt so overwhelming you gave up before you even started? That's why it's crucial to set realistic and achievable objectives. Think of it like climbing a mountain. You don't start by attempting to scale Everest on your first try. Instead, you begin with smaller hills, gradually building your strength and skills. Remember, the key is to find the sweet spot between ambition and realism. Your goals should stretch you, but not break you. They should be challenging enough to excite you, but not so daunting that they paralyze you. It's like tuning an instrument. Too loose, and you won't make music. Too tight, and the strings might snap. Now let's talk about something that many people overlook when setting goals: alignment with personal values and long-term vision. Imagine planting a garden. You wouldn't plant cacti in a tropical climate, would you? In the same way, your goals need to be in harmony with who you are and who you want to become. Ask yourself, do these goals resonate with my core values? Do they contribute to the person I want to be in 5, 10, or 20 years? Goals that align with your personal values and long-term vision are like seeds planted in fertile soil. They're more likely to take root and flourish. Here's a practical tip. Write down your goals. There's something magical about putting pen to paper. It makes your goals more tangible, more real. It's like making a promise to yourself. And as you write, be specific. Instead of "I want to be healthier," try "I will walk for 30 minutes every day after dinner." The more specific you are, the easier it becomes to take action. But what if your goal seems too big and overwhelming? Here's where the art of breaking down comes into play. Imagine you're eating an elephant, not literally, of course. How would you do it? One bite at a time, right? The same principle applies to your goals. Break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Each small win will fuel your motivation and build your self-discipline muscle. Remember, setting clear and meaningful goals is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. As you grow and evolve, so will your goals. Be flexible and ready to adjust your course as needed. Think of yourself as the captain of your own ship, constantly checking your compass and adjusting your sails to stay on course. By setting clear, realistic, and meaningful goals, you're laying the foundation for self-discipline. You're giving yourself a reason to stay focused, to push through challenges, and to keep moving forward. So, are you ready to start designing the blueprint for your future? Chapter 3. Building daily habits and routines. Now that we've laid the foundation with clear goals, it's time to start building your self-discipline muscle. Remember how we talked about discipline being like a muscle? Well, just like you can't expect to bench press 300 pounds on your first day at the gym, you can't expect to master self-discipline overnight. It's a gradual process that requires consistent effort and smart strategies. Imagine you're tending a garden of habits. Some plants in this garden have an incredible power. They're like magical seeds that, when nurtured, cause other beneficial plants to sprout up around them. These are what we call keystone habits. They're the cornerstone of building lasting self-discipline. But what exactly are these keystone habits? Think of them as small, manageable actions that create a ripple effect in your life. They're like dominoes. Once you tip the first one, the rest start falling into place naturally. For instance, making your bed every morning might seem trivial, but it can set the tone for a productive day. It gives you a small sense of accomplishment right off the bat, which can motivate you to tackle bigger tasks. Now, you might be wondering, how do these small actions build discipline over time? Well, it's all about consistency. Each time you follow through on a small habit, you're essentially doing a rep for your self-discipline muscle. Over time, these reps add up, making it easier for you to stick to other positive behaviors. Remember, it's not about making drastic changes overnight. In fact, trying to overhaul your entire life in one go is often a recipe for burnout and disappointment. Instead, focus on small, daily actions that you can sustain over the long haul. It's like watering your garden every day. It might not seem like much in the moment, but over time, you'll see significant growth. So what might some of these daily routines for self-discipline look like? Well, it could be as simple as waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body clock and can improve your overall energy levels. Or perhaps it's dedicating the first hour of your day to personal development, reading, meditating, or working on a passion project. Another powerful routine is prioritizing your tasks for the day. Imagine you're the captain of a ship, charting your course each morning. By deciding what's most important and tackling it first, you're setting yourself up for success and building the habit of focusing on what truly matters. Physical activity is another key player in the self-discipline game. It doesn't have to be an intense workout. Even a short daily walk can do wonders. Exercise not only improves your physical health, but also boosts your mental clarity and willpower, making it easier to stay disciplined in other areas of your life. Don't forget about the power of reflection. Taking a few minutes at the end of each day to review your progress, celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and plan for tomorrow can significantly boost your self-discipline. It's like tending to your garden in the evening, checking on your plant's growth, and planning what needs attention the next day. Remember, building self-discipline through daily habits isn't about perfection. There will be days when you slip up, and that's okay. The key is to get back on track as soon as possible. Think of it as learning to ride a bike. You might fall off a few times, but each time you get back on, you're getting stronger and more skilled. As you incorporate these habits into your daily life, you'll start to notice changes. Tasks that once seemed daunting become manageable. Temptations that used to derail you lose their power. You'll find yourself naturally making choices that align with your long-term goals. This is the power of building your self-discipline muscle through consistent daily action. Chapter 4. Why discipline means freedom. Now that you've begun to build your self-discipline muscle through daily habits and routines, it's time to explore a powerful mindset shift that can revolutionize your approach to discipline. Have you ever thought of discipline as a form of freedom? It might sound counterintuitive at first, but this perspective can be a game changer in your journey toward self-mastery. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. One path looks easy and pleasant, lined with comfortable couches and instant gratification. The other path seems challenging, with obstacles and steep climbs. Which one would you choose? Most people would be tempted by the easy path, but here's the twist. The challenging path actually leads to greater freedom and more choices in the long run. You see, discipline isn't about restricting yourself or living a rigid life. It's about giving yourself the power to steer your life in the direction you truly want. When you're disciplined, you're in control of your actions and decisions. You're not at the mercy of your impulses or external circumstances. This control is what true freedom feels like. Think about it this way. When you're disciplined with your health, you have the freedom to enjoy physical activities without limitations. When you're disciplined with your finances, you have the freedom to make choices about your future without being constrained by debt. Discipline opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. But here's the catch. This kind of freedom often requires delayed gratification. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. Imagine you're planting a garden. You could pick a few flowers now and enjoy their brief beauty, or you could nurture the entire garden and create a lasting oasis. Delayed gratification is like choosing to nurture the whole garden. It might take more time and effort, but the results are far more rewarding. Remember, every time you choose discipline over immediate pleasure, you're investing in your future self. You're saying, I believe in my potential and I'm willing to work for it. This mindset is incredibly empowering. It shifts you from being a passive recipient of life circumstances to an active creator of your destiny. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but what about when things get tough? This is where reframing challenges comes into play. Instead of viewing obstacles as roadblocks, try seeing them as opportunities for growth. Every challenge you face is a chance to flex your self-discipline muscle and become stronger. For example, if you're trying to wake up earlier and find it difficult, don't beat yourself up about it. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this struggle? How can I adjust my approach? Maybe you need to go to bed earlier, or perhaps you need to find a more compelling reason to get up. By reframing the challenge, you turn it into a puzzle to solve rather than a burden to bear. This mindset shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, just like any other aspect of self-discipline. Start small. The next time you face a task you've been avoiding, pause and ask yourself, how is completing this task an act of freedom? Maybe it frees you from worry, or it moves you closer to a goal. Focus on that feeling of liberation, however small. As you continue to view discipline as a path to freedom, you'll notice a change in how you approach challenges. Tasks that once seemed like chores become opportunities. Temptations lose their power because you're focused on the greater freedom that lies ahead. You start to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment in your ability to choose long-term benefits over short-term pleasures. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all immediate pleasures from your life. It's about finding a balance that allows you to enjoy the present while building a better future. By shifting your mindset to view discipline as freedom, you're not just working towards your goals, you're creating a life of purpose, control, and true satisfaction. Chapter 5. From Big Goals to Manageable Tasks. Now that you understand the power of viewing discipline as freedom, let's explore how to tackle those big, ambitious goals that may seem overwhelming at first. Have you ever stood at the base of a mountain, looking up at the distant peak, feeling both excited and intimidated? That's often how we feel when faced with our biggest goals and dreams. But here's the secret. You don't climb a mountain in one giant leap. You do it one step at a time. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't just throw all the materials together and hope for the best, right? Instead, you'd start with a solid foundation, then add the frame, the walls, the roof, and so on. The same principle applies to achieving your goals. Breaking them down into smaller, manageable tasks is like creating a blueprint for success. Start by taking that big, audacious goal and asking yourself, what's the first step I can take towards this? Then, what comes after that? Keep breaking it down until you have a series of small, actionable tasks that you can tackle one by one. This process not only makes your goal less daunting, but also provides a clear roadmap to follow. Now, you might be wondering, with all these tasks, how do I know where to start? This is where prioritization comes in. Think of your tasks as a garden of opportunities. Some plants need immediate attention, while others can wait a bit. Focus on the tasks that will have the biggest impact or are time-sensitive. Ask yourself, which of these tasks, if completed, would make the others easier or even unnecessary? Remember, prioritizing isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things at the right time. Create a daily or weekly schedule that outlines what you need to accomplish and when. This not only helps you stay organized, but also ensures that you're making consistent progress towards your goals. As you work through these tasks, it's crucial to celebrate your small wins along the way. Think of each completed task as a stepping stone on your journey. Each one brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Celebrating these small victories isn't just about feeling good, although that's important too. It's about building momentum and reinforcing your commitment to your goals. Imagine you're on a long road trip. Wouldn't it be more enjoyable and motivating if you celebrated reaching each city along the way, rather than waiting until you've reached your final destination? The same principle applies to your goals. Each small win provides a sense of accomplishment and encourages you to keep going. These celebrations don't have to be grand gestures. It could be as simple as taking a moment to acknowledge your progress, treating yourself to something you enjoy, or sharing your achievement with a friend. The key is to recognize and appreciate the effort you've put in. As you continue on this journey of breaking down your goals and celebrating your progress, you'll start to notice something incredible. Those big, intimidating goals that once seemed impossible start to feel achievable. You'll find yourself naturally becoming more disciplined as you see the tangible results of your efforts. Remember, every big accomplishment is just a series of small steps taken consistently over time. By breaking down your goals, prioritizing effectively, and celebrating your progress, you're not just working towards your dreams, you're building the discipline and resilience to achieve them. So, are you ready to take that first step towards turning your big goals into reality? Chapter 6: How to Stay Disciplined in Challenging Times. As you embark on this journey of self-discipline, you will soon discover that the path is not always smooth. Like a ship navigating through stormy seas, you'll encounter obstacles that test your resolve. But don't worry, these challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth. Let's explore how you can stay disciplined even when the going gets tough. Imagine you're tending to a garden of self-discipline. You've planted the seeds of good habits, but suddenly, weeds start popping up. These weeds are the common obstacles that can derail your progress. Maybe it's the constant ping of notifications on your phone, luring you away from important tasks. Or perhaps it's the voice in your head telling you that one little slip-up means you failed completely. Remember, these obstacles are normal. Everyone faces them. The key is not to avoid them, but to develop strategies to overcome them. Think of it like building a sturdy fence around your garden to keep those pesky weeds at bay. One powerful technique is to break down your goals into smaller, more manageable steps. When you're faced with a daunting task, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and give up. But if you focus on just the next small action you need to take, it becomes much easier to stay on track. It's like crossing a river by hopping from one stepping stone to the next, rather than trying to leap across in one giant bound. Another important strategy is to create daily habits and routines that support your goals. These routines act like a safety net, catching you when you stumble. For example, if your goal is to exercise regularly, laying out your workout clothes the night before can make it easier to follow through in the morning. But what about those times when life throws you a curveball? Maybe you're dealing with a stressful situation at work or facing personal challenges. It's during these difficult periods that your self-discipline is truly put to the test. This is where the power of resilience comes into play. Resilience is like a bouncy ball. The harder life throws you down, the higher you bounce back up. It's about maintaining your commitment to your goals, even when the going gets tough. Remember, setbacks are not failures. They're opportunities to learn and grow stronger. One way to build resilience is to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend who's struggling. Instead of beating yourself up for slip-ups, acknowledge that you're human and refocus on your goals. Another powerful tool is to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. When you face an obstacle, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? This mindset shift can turn even the toughest challenges into valuable lessons. It's also important to remember that self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress. There will be days when you fall short of your goals, and that's okay. What matters is that you pick yourself up and keep moving forward. Think of self-discipline as a muscle. Just like physical muscles, it gets stronger with consistent exercise. Each time you push through a difficult situation, you're building that muscle. Over time, you'll find that tasks that once seemed impossible become manageable, even easy. As you continue on this journey, remember that staying disciplined during challenging times is not just about willpower. It's about developing a set of strategies and tools that you can rely on when things get tough. It's about building resilience, practicing self-compassion, and maintaining a growth mindset. So the next time you face an obstacle, do not see it as a setback. See it as an opportunity to flex your self-discipline muscle and grow stronger. Remember, every challenge you overcome is bringing you one step closer to your goals. You have the power within you to stay disciplined even in the face of adversity. Are you ready to embrace the challenges and grow stronger? Chapter 7: The Self-Discipline and Mental Health Connection. Now that you have learned how to overcome obstacles and stay disciplined in challenging times, let's explore a fascinating connection that often gets overlooked. Have you ever wondered how your self-discipline might be affecting your mental health? It's an intriguing question that opens up a whole new perspective on the power of discipline in your life. Imagine your mind as a garden. Just like a well-tended garden flourishes with vibrant flowers and healthy plants, a disciplined mind can bloom with positivity and resilience. But how exactly does this work? Well, it's all about the choices you make and the habits you cultivate. When you practice self-discipline, you're essentially taking control of your thoughts and actions. This control can lead to a more structured and less chaotic mental state. It's like creating neat rows in your mental garden instead of letting weeds grow wild. This structure can significantly reduce stress and anxiety, giving you a sense of calm and order in your life. Think about it. When you have the discipline to prioritize tasks and set realistic deadlines, you're preventing the mental clutter that often leads to stress. It's like regularly pruning your garden to keep it from becoming overgrown. By staying on top of your responsibilities, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed or anxious about unfinished business. But self-discipline isn't just about getting things done. It's also about making healthy choices that support your mental well-being. When you have the discipline to include regular movement in your day, eat nutritious foods, and get enough sleep, you're nurturing your mind just like you would water and fertilize your garden. These choices can enhance your mental clarity and emotional resilience, helping you better cope with life's challenges. Remember, self-discipline is about making conscious choices that align with your long-term aspirations. Sometimes, this might mean sacrificing immediate pleasures for larger long-term gains. It's like choosing to plant perennials instead of annuals in your garden. While annuals might give you quick, colorful blooms, perennials will come back year after year, providing lasting beauty and satisfaction. As you cultivate self-discipline, you might notice a fascinating ripple effect on your mental health. When you consistently follow through on your commitments and achieve your goals, even small ones, you're fostering a sense of accomplishment. This can boost your self-esteem and confidence, creating a positive feedback loop that further enhances your mental well-being. It's important to understand that building self-discipline is a learned behavior. Just like learning to tend a garden, it takes practice and the right strategies. You might make mistakes along the way, and that's okay. The key is to keep learning and growing. One powerful strategy for using self-discipline to improve your mental health is to practice self-reflection. Take time each day to check in with yourself, like a gardener inspecting their plants. How are you feeling? What's working well? What areas need more attention? This awareness can help you make adjustments to better support your mental health. Another helpful approach is to use self-discipline to create boundaries. This might mean setting limits on work hours to prevent burnout, or learning to say no to commitments that don't align with your values and goals. It's like building a fence around your garden to protect it from external stressors. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's about progress and consistency. Some days, you might feel like your mental garden is thriving. Other days, it might need extra care. The important thing is to keep showing up, keep tending to your mind with discipline and compassion. As you continue on this journey of self-discipline, pay attention to how it affects your mental state. You might be surprised at the profound effect it can have on your overall well-being. By cultivating discipline, you're not just achieving your goals, you're nurturing a healthier, more resilient mind. Chapter 8: Tools and Apps for Enhancing Self-Discipline. Now that you understand how self-discipline can reshape your world, let us explore how technology can be a powerful ally in your journey. Have you ever wondered if there's an app that could help you stay on track with your goals? Well, you're in luck. In today's digital age, we have an array of tools at our fingertips that can supercharge our self-discipline efforts. Imagine having a personal coach in your pocket, ready to guide you 24/7. That's essentially what many of these apps and digital tools offer. They're like high-tech gardening tools for your self-discipline garden, helping you plant, nurture, and grow your habits more effectively. But here's the thing. Technology is a double-edged sword. While it can be incredibly helpful, it can also be a major source of distraction. It's like having a sprinkler system that sometimes waters your plants and other times floods your entire garden. The key is learning how to use these tools mindfully. Let's start by exploring some of the most useful apps for tracking habits and goals. These digital assistants can help you stay accountable, providing gentle reminders and encouraging you to stick to your commitments. Some apps even turn self-discipline into a game, making the process more engaging and fun. Imagine earning points or leveling up for completing tasks. Suddenly, that dreaded chore doesn't seem so bad, does it? There are also apps that can help you stay focused by limiting access to distracting websites or apps during work hours. It's like putting blinders on a horse. You're helping your brain stay on track by removing potential distractions from your field of vision. But remember, these apps are tools, not magic solutions. They can support your efforts, but the real work still comes from you. It's important to use these tools as aids, not crutches. Think of them as training wheels, helpful when you're starting out, but eventually you want to ride without them. Now, let's talk about using technology mindfully. In a world where our phones are constantly pinging with notifications, it's easy to get pulled away from our tasks and goals. The trick is to take control of your devices rather than letting them control you. One strategy is to set specific times for checking emails and social media. It's like scheduling watering times for your garden. You give your plants the attention they need, but you don't spend all day hovering over them with a watering can. Another helpful approach is to create a dedicated workspace free from distractions. This could mean turning off notifications on your phone or using website blockers during work hours. It's like creating a greenhouse for your focus, a protected space where your concentration can flourish without interruption. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate technology from your life. It's about using it in a way that supports your goals rather than derails them. By harnessing these tools mindfully, you can create a digital environment that nurtures your self-discipline rather than undermines it. As you experiment with different apps and strategies, pay attention to what works best for you. Everyone's garden of self-discipline is unique, and what helps one person might not work for another. The key is to find the right balance of technology use that supports your growth without becoming a distraction. By learning to harness technology effectively, you're adding a powerful tool to your self-discipline toolkit. Used wisely, these digital aids can help you stay on track, build better habits, and achieve your goals more efficiently. So, are you ready to explore the digital landscape of self-discipline? Remember, the right tools are waiting to help you cultivate your garden of success. Chapter 9: How Self-Discipline Improves Your Relationships. Now that you understand how self-discipline can reshape your world, have you ever wondered how it might influence your relationships and career? It's fascinating to consider how the habits and mindset you're developing could ripple out to affect the people around you and your professional life. Imagine your self-discipline as a pebble dropped into a calm pond. The ripples start small, but they gradually expand, touching everything in their path. In the same way, the self-discipline you cultivate in your personal life can have far-reaching effects on your relationships and career. Let's start with your relationships. Have you noticed how your mood and behavior can influence those around you? When you're disciplined in managing your emotions and reactions, you create a more positive environment for your loved ones. It's like tending a garden. Your careful attention nurtures not just your own growth, but also creates a space where others can flourish. Think about how being reliable and consistent in your actions can strengthen trust in your relationships. When you follow through on your commitments, you're showing others that they can count on you. This reliability can deepen your connections and create stronger bonds. But it's not just about how others see you. Self-discipline can also change how you approach relationships. You might find yourself more patient, more willing to listen, and better able to communicate your needs. It's like learning a new language, the language of emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills. Now, let's turn our attention to your career. Have you ever considered how your self-discipline might be viewed in the workplace? Employer often value employees who can manage their time effectively, meet deadlines consistently, and maintain a high standard of work. Your self-discipline is like a beacon, signaling to others that you're someone who can be trusted with important tasks and responsibilities. But it goes beyond just impressing your boss. Self-discipline can fuel your career growth in many ways. It can help you stay focused on your long-term career goals, even when faced with short-term challenges. It's like having a compass that always points you toward your true north, helping you navigate the sometimes choppy waters of your professional life. Consider how self-discipline might help you in learning new skills or adapting to changes in your industry. In today's fast-paced work environment, the ability to continuously learn and grow is invaluable. Your self-discipline is like a muscle that helps you lift the heavy weights of new challenges and opportunities. So how can you apply these principles of self-discipline to various areas of your life? Start by setting clear boundaries. In your relationships, this might mean learning to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or goals. In your career, it could involve managing your time more effectively to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Another strategy is to practice mindfulness in your interactions. Whether you're talking to a friend or presenting in a meeting, being fully present can greatly enhance the quality of your relationships and your work. It's like shining a spotlight on the present moment, illuminating the richness of each interaction. Remember, building self-discipline in your relationships and career is a gradual process. It's about making small, consistent choices that align with your values and goals. Each decision is like planting a seed. Over time, these seeds will grow into a lush garden of personal and professional success. As you continue on this journey, pay attention to how your growing self-discipline affects the people around you and your work life. You might be surprised at the positive changes you see. Are you ready to create ripples of positive change in your relationships and career? Chapter 10. Mastering your money discipline. Have you ever thought about how the self-discipline you are developing could transform your financial life? Just as we've explored how discipline impacts your relationships and career, it's time to turn our attention to your wallet. Money matters can often feel overwhelming, but with the right approach, you can master your finances and create a stable, prosperous future. Imagine your financial life as a garden. Each dollar you earn is like a seed, full of potential. But without proper care and attention, these seeds might never grow into the flourishing financial forest you dream of. This is where self-discipline comes into play. It's the tool that helps you plant those seeds wisely and tend to them consistently, even when it's not always easy or immediately rewarding. You might be wondering, how exactly does self-discipline apply to my finances? Well, it's about making conscious choices that align with your long-term financial goals. It's choosing to save for the future instead of splurging on something you don't really need. It's about saying no to impulsive purchases and yes to thoughtful investments. Remember, every financial decision you make is like planting a seed in your money garden. But here's the thing. Financial discipline isn't about depriving yourself. It's about creating a healthy relationship with money that allows you to enjoy life while also securing your future. Think of it as finding the right balance between watering your plants and harvesting the fruits of your labor. So, how can you start cultivating financial discipline in your life? Start by getting clear on your financial goals. What do you want your money garden to look like in 5, 10, or 20 years? Having a clear vision gives you something to work towards and makes it easier to stay disciplined when temptations arise. Next, create a budget that outlines what you need to spend and when, focusing on what's most important each month. This is like creating a watering schedule for your garden. It ensures that every part of your financial life gets the attention it needs. One powerful strategy is to automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account each payday. It's like installing a sprinkler system in your garden. It takes care of the watering without you having to think about it every day. Remember, Honesty is crucial when it comes to financial discipline. Be truthful with yourself about your spending habits. If you know you tend to overspend in certain areas, acknowledge it and set limits. It's like recognizing which plants in your garden need extra attention to prevent them from overtaking everything else. As you practice financial discipline, you'll start to notice some amazing benefits. You'll feel more in control of your money, which can reduce financial stress and anxiety. You'll be better prepared for unexpected expenses. It's like having a well-stocked tool shed in your garden, ready for any challenges that come your way. Over time, financial discipline can lead to significant growth in your wealth. Those small seeds you've been planting through consistent saving and wise investments will start to sprout and grow. You might even find yourself able to make major financial moves, like buying a home or starting a business. Remember, building financial discipline is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you slip up, and that's okay. The key is to get back on track as soon as possible. Each day is a new opportunity to make choices that align with your financial goals. As you continue on this path of financial discipline, you'll discover that it's not just about money. It's about creating a sense of security, freedom, and peace of mind. It's about nurturing a financial garden that can sustain you and your loved ones for years to come. Are you ready to start planting the seeds of your financial future? Chapter 11, Creating a Reinforcing Environment. Now that you have learned how self-discipline can transform your finances, let us explore another crucial aspect of your journey, your environment. Have you ever noticed how your surroundings can either support or hinder your goals? Just as a garden needs the right soil and climate to thrive, your self-discipline needs the right environment to flourish. Imagine you're creating a sanctuary for your self-discipline to grow. What would it look like? How would it feel? Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your habits and behaviors. It's like the soil in which you're planting the seeds of discipline. Rich, fertile soil will help your discipline grow strong and healthy, while poor soil might stunt its growth. Let's start with your physical space. Look around you. Is your environment cluttered and chaotic, or organized and serene? A cluttered space can lead to a cluttered mind, making it harder to focus and stay disciplined. On the other hand, an organized space can help clear your mind and make it easier to concentrate on your goals. Consider creating designated areas for specific activities. Maybe you have a quiet corner for reading or meditation, or a well-organized desk for work. These dedicated spaces can help trigger the right mindset when you enter them. It's like having different plots in your garden for different types of plants. Each one gets exactly what it needs to thrive. But your environment isn't just about physical space. It's also about the people you surround yourself with. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they supportive of your goals? Do they inspire you to be better? Or do they drag you down with negativity? Remember, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's like planting your discipline seeds next to other healthy, thriving plants. They'll support each other's growth and create a nurturing ecosystem. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you to be better. These relationships can be like fertilizer for your self-discipline, helping it grow stronger and more resilient. Now, let's talk about distractions. In today's world, they're everywhere, constantly vying for our attention. It's like having weeds in your garden, competing with your discipline for resources. To create a self-discipline-friendly environment, you need to minimize these distractions. Start by identifying your biggest time wasters. Is it social media, television, constant notifications on your phone? Once you've identified them, create strategies to manage them. Maybe you set specific times for checking social media or turn off notifications during work hours. It's like pulling out the weeds in your garden, giving your discipline more room to grow. Remember, creating a self-discipline-friendly environment isn't about perfectionism, it's about progress. Start with small changes and build from there. Maybe you begin by decluttering one area of your home or by having one meaningful conversation with a friend about your goals. As you reshape your environment, you'll likely notice a shift in your mindset and behavior. Tasks that once seemed daunting might become easier. Temptations that used to derail you might lose their power. You're creating a space where self-discipline can thrive naturally without constant struggle. Think of it this way. By creating a self-discipline friendly environment, you're setting yourself up for success. You're not just relying on willpower alone, you're designing a system that supports your goals. It's like creating the perfect conditions in your garden. With the right soil, sunlight, and care, your plants will grow strong and healthy almost effortlessly. So take a moment to look around you. What changes can you make to your environment to better support your self-discipline? Remember, every small change you make is a step towards creating a space where your discipline can flourish. Are you ready to start cultivating the perfect environment for your self-discipline to grow? Chapter 12: How Self-Discipline Improves Your Self-Esteem. Have you ever noticed how accomplishing a task, no matter how small, can give you a little boost of confidence? That's no coincidence. As we continue our journey through the landscape of self-discipline, let us explore an often overlooked connection that can have a profound impact on your life: the relationship between self-discipline and self-esteem. Imagine your self-esteem as a garden and self-discipline as the gardener tending to it. Each time you follow through on a commitment or resist a temptation, you're planting a seed of confidence in that garden. Over time, these seeds grow into a lush forest of self-assurance and inner strength. But how exactly does this work? Well, it's all about the choices you make and the actions you take. When you consistently make decisions that align with your goals and values, you're essentially telling yourself, I am capable, I am in control. This internal dialogue is like fertilizer for your self-esteem, nourishing it and helping it flourish. Think about a time when you stuck to a difficult goal. Maybe you woke up early to exercise for a week straight, or you finished a project ahead of deadline. Remember that feeling of pride and accomplishment? That's your self-esteem growing stronger, thanks to your self-discipline. Interestingly, this relationship works both ways. As your self-esteem grows, you'll likely find it easier to maintain your self-discipline. It's like a positive feedback loop where each element strengthens the other. The more confident you feel in your abilities, the more likely you are to take on challenges and stick to your commitments. And the more you follow through on those commitments, the more your confidence grows. Now, you might be wondering, how can I use self-discipline to improve my self-image? Well, it starts with setting clear, achievable goals. Think of these goals as the blueprint for your self-esteem garden. They give you direction and purpose, showing you exactly where to plant your seeds of discipline. Remember, these goals don't have to be grand or life-changing. In fact, starting small can be incredibly powerful. Maybe you commit to making your bed every morning or to drinking a glass of water before each meal. These may seem like tiny actions, but they're powerful seeds of discipline that can grow into mighty oaks of self-esteem. As you work towards your goals, it's important to be honest with yourself about your progress. This honesty is like sunlight for your self-esteem garden. It helps you see clearly what's working and what needs adjustment. If you slip up, don't beat yourself up. Instead, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Remember, every gardener faces challenges, but it's how you respond to those challenges that truly matters. Another powerful strategy is to prioritize your tasks and break them down into manageable steps. This approach is like creating a watering schedule for your garden. It ensures that you're consistently nurturing your self-discipline and, by extension, your self-esteem. As you tick off each small task, you're reinforcing your belief in your own capabilities. It's also crucial to celebrate your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Each time you follow through on a commitment or reach a goal, take a moment to acknowledge your achievement. This celebration is like giving your self-esteem garden an extra dose of nutrients, helping it grow even stronger. As you continue on this journey, you'll likely notice a shift in how you view yourself and your abilities. Tasks that once seemed daunting might start to feel manageable. You might find yourself taking on new challenges with confidence, knowing that you have the discipline to see them through. Remember, building self-discipline and self-esteem is not about perfection. It's about progress and consistency. Some days, your garden might look a little wilted, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep tending to it, one small action at a time. With patience and persistence, you'll cultivate a thriving garden of self-discipline and a flourishing forest of self-esteem. Chapter 13. Identifying and Eliminating Bad Habits. As we have explored how self-discipline can transform your self-esteem, let us turn our attention to a crucial aspect of personal growth: identifying and eliminating bad habits. Have you ever wondered why some habits seem so hard to break, even when you know they're holding you back? It's like having weeds in your garden of self-discipline, competing for resources and stunting your growth. Imagine you're a detective, investigating the mysteries of your own behavior. Your mission is to uncover those sneaky habits that might be sabotaging your progress. The first step in this investigation is developing self-awareness. It's like shining a flashlight into the dark corners of your daily routines, illuminating patterns you might not have noticed before. Start by keeping a journal of your daily activities. Write down what you do, when you do it, and how you feel afterward. This simple act of recording can be eye-opening. You might discover that you're spending more time scrolling through social media than you realized, or that you tend to snack when you're stressed rather than hungry. Remember, habits often hide in plain sight. They're the automatic behaviors we do without thinking, like checking your phone as soon as you wake up or hitting the snooze button multiple times. By bringing these habits into your conscious awareness, you're taking the first step towards change. Once you've identified a habit you want to change, it's time to dig deeper. Ask yourself, what triggers this habit? What need is it fulfilling? Understanding the root cause of a habit is like uncovering the source of a weed in your garden. Once you know where it's coming from, you can address it more effectively. Now, here's where things get interesting. Instead of trying to eliminate a bad habit completely, which can often feel overwhelming, try replacing it with a positive one. It's like swapping out a weed for a beautiful flower in your garden of self-discipline. For example, if you find yourself reaching for your phone whenever you feel bored or anxious, you could replace that habit with taking 3 deep breaths or doing a quick stretching exercise. The key is to choose a new habit that fulfills the same need, but in a more positive way. Another powerful strategy is to make the bad habit more difficult to do while making the good habit easier. Imagine you're trying to cut down on late-night snacking. You could put the snacks in a hard-to-reach place and prepare healthy alternatives that are easily accessible. It's like creating a path of least resistance towards your desired behavior. As you work on changing your habits, it's crucial to be patient with yourself. Remember, these patterns have often been ingrained over years. It's like trying to redirect a river that's been flowing in the same direction for a long time. It takes consistent effort and time to create a new path. One effective technique is to focus on one habit at a time. It's tempting to try and overhaul your entire life at once, but that approach often leads to burnout. Instead, choose one habit to work on and give it your full attention. It's like tending to one plant in your garden with extra care, knowing that as it flourishes, it will inspire you to nurture the others. As you progress on this journey of habit change, you'll likely notice something remarkable. The self-awareness you've developed becomes a powerful tool in other areas of your life. You'll start to notice patterns in your thoughts and emotions, not just your actions. This heightened awareness can lead to profound personal growth and a deeper understanding of yourself. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Some days you might slip back into old patterns, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Each time you choose a positive habit over a negative one, you're strengthening your self-discipline muscle and cultivating a garden of healthy behaviors that will support you in achieving your goals. Chapter 14. Consistency is key. Maintaining long-term self-discipline. Now that you've learned how to identify and eliminate bad habits, let's explore a crucial aspect of self-discipline that often gets overlooked: consistency. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly maintain their good habits, while others struggle to keep up their momentum? The secret lies in understanding that self-discipline isn't about short bursts of motivation, but rather a steady, ongoing commitment to your goals. Imagine you're tending to a garden of self-improvement. You've planted the seeds of good habits, pulled out the weeds of negative behaviors, and now it's time to ensure your garden thrives in the long run. Consistency is like the daily watering and care that keeps your plants healthy and strong. Without it, even the most promising seeds of change can wither away. Think about the last time you started a new habit with enthusiasm, only to see your motivation fade after a few weeks. It's a common experience, but it doesn't have to be your story. The key to maintaining long-term self-discipline is to shift your focus from motivation to consistency. While motivation can be a great spark to get you started, it's consistency that keeps the fire burning. So how can you cultivate this consistency in your life? Start by setting realistic expectations for yourself. Remember, you're in this for the long haul. It's not about making huge changes overnight, but rather about making small, sustainable choices day after day. Think of it as taking small steps forward consistently, rather than trying to leap across a chasm in one bound. One powerful strategy is to create a routine that supports your goals. Your routine is like the trellis that supports a growing vine. It provides structure and direction. By incorporating your desired behaviors into your daily schedule, you make them a natural part of your life, rather than something you have to remember to do constantly. But what about those days when you just don't feel like sticking to your routine? This is where the true power of consistency comes into play. On these days, focus on doing something, even if it's just a fraction of what you originally planned. Remember, it's better to do a little consistently than to do a lot sporadically. As you continue on this journey, it is important to acknowledge that setbacks are a normal part of the process. You might miss a day of exercise, indulge in a habit you're trying to break, or fall short of your goals. The key is not to let these moments derail your entire effort. Instead, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. When you face a setback, take a moment to reflect on what led to it. Were you overly tired? Did you face unexpected stress? By understanding the triggers, you can better prepare for similar situations in the future. Then, instead of beating yourself up, simply recommit to your goals and get back on track. It's like replanting a section of your garden that didn't grow as well as you hoped. You learn from the experience and try again. Remember, maintaining long-term self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress and persistence. Each day that you show up and make choices aligned with your goals, you're strengthening your self-discipline muscle. Over time, these consistent efforts compound, leading to significant changes in your life. As you continue to water your garden of self-discipline with consistency, you'll likely notice something remarkable. The effort required to maintain your good habits starts to decrease. What once felt like a struggle becomes second nature. It's like the difference between pushing a boulder uphill and rolling it on flat ground. Consistency helps you build momentum that makes the journey easier. So as you move forward on your path of self-discipline, remember the power of consistency. It's not about making perfect choices every day, but about making good choices most days. It is about getting back on track when you stumble and celebrating the small victories along the way. With each consistent step, you are not just building habits, you are shaping the person you want to become. Chapter 15: How to Break Free from Social Media Addiction. As we've explored how consistency can reshape your world, let's turn our attention to a modern challenge that often derails our best intentions: social media addiction. Have you ever picked up your phone to check the time, only to find yourself scrolling through social media an hour later? It's a common experience in today's digital age, but one that can seriously undermine your self-discipline efforts. Imagine your attention as a precious resource, like water in a desert. Social media platforms are designed to capture and hold that resource, often leaving little for the things that truly matter in your life. It's like having a leaky faucet in your self-discipline pipeline, constantly draining your focus and energy. But don't worry, you're not powerless against this digital tide. Just as you've learned to cultivate self-discipline in other areas of your life, you can apply these same principles to regain control over your social media habits. It's about creating a healthy balance where technology serves you rather than the other way around. So, how can you start breaking free from the grip of social media addiction? It begins with awareness. Take a moment to reflect on your current habits. How often do you check your phone? What triggers these check-ins? Understanding your patterns is like mapping out the terrain before embarking on a journey. It gives you a clear picture of where you're starting from. Once you've gained this awareness, it's time to set some boundaries. Think of these boundaries as a fence around your attention garden, protecting it from the constant invasions of notifications and updates. You might decide to limit your social media use to certain times of the day, or to remove social media apps from your phone altogether. Remember, you're in control of how and when you engage with these platforms. Another powerful strategy is to replace your social media habit with more fulfilling activities. Whenever you feel the urge to scroll, try reaching for a book instead, or practicing a few minutes of meditation. It's like planting beautiful flowers in the space where weeds once grew. Over time, you'll find more joy in these new habits than in endless scrolling. Mindfulness can be a potent tool in this process. When you catch yourself reaching for your phone, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this really how I want to spend my time right now? This moment of reflection can be enough to break the automatic habit and make a more conscious choice. Remember, the goal isn't to completely eliminate social media from your life. It's about using it intentionally in a way that adds value rather than detracts from your goals and well-being. Think of it as learning to use a powerful tool skillfully rather than letting it use you. As you work on breaking free from social media addiction, you'll likely notice some remarkable changes. You might find yourself with more time and mental energy for the things that truly matter to you. Your ability to focus on tasks without distraction may improve. You might even experience a greater sense of connection with the people around you as you engage more fully in face-to-face interactions. But remember, like any aspect of self-discipline, this is a journey. There will be days when you slip back into old habits, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep coming back to your intentions, to keep nurturing your garden of attention with care and consistency. By applying self-discipline to your social media habits, you're not just reclaiming your time and attention, you're also strengthening your overall self-discipline muscle, creating positive ripple effects in all areas of your life. So are you ready to take control of your digital habits and create a more balanced, fulfilling relationship with social media? Chapter 16, Key Characteristics and Traits. As we continue our journey of self-discipline, you might be wondering what sets highly disciplined individuals apart. What are the key traits that allow them to consistently achieve their goals and live purposeful lives? It's like trying to identify the qualities of a master gardener who can make any plant thrive. What's their secret? Let's explore the characteristics that define these self-disciplined champions and how you can cultivate these traits in your own life. Imagine a person who seems to effortlessly stick to their commitments day in and day out. What do you notice about them? First and foremost, highly disciplined individuals exhibit remarkable consistency in their actions. They understand that success isn't built on occasional bursts of motivation, but on showing up and doing the work, even when they don't feel like it. It's like watering your garden every day, regardless of whether the sun is shining or it's pouring rain. Another key trait of self-disciplined people is their ability to delay gratification. They're not swayed by short-term pleasures that might derail their long-term goals. Instead, they keep their eyes on the prize, making choices that align with their bigger vision. It's like choosing to invest in quality seeds and fertilizer for your garden rather than spending that money on a fleeting indulgence. Highly disciplined individuals also tend to have a strong sense of purpose. They're clear about what they want to achieve and why it matters to them. This clarity acts as a powerful motivator, helping them stay on track even when faced with challenges or temptations. It's like having a vivid image of the bountiful harvest you're working towards, which keeps you going even when the gardening gets tough. You might be thinking, that sounds great, but are these traits something you're born with, or can they be developed? The good news is that self-discipline is a learned behavior. Just like any skill, it can be cultivated and strengthened over time with practice and the right strategies. To develop consistency, start by setting small, achievable goals and committing to them daily. It's like starting with a small plot in your garden and tending to it faithfully before expanding. As you build a track record of following through, you'll gain confidence in your ability to stick to your commitments. Training yourself to delay gratification takes practice too. Begin by identifying small opportunities to choose long-term benefits over immediate pleasure. Maybe it's opting for a healthy snack instead of junk food, or saving money instead of making an impulse purchase. Each time you make this choice, you're strengthening your self-discipline muscle. Cultivating a sense of purpose involves regular reflection and goal setting. Take time to think about what truly matters to you and how your daily actions contribute to those larger objectives. It's like planting your garden with a clear vision of what you want to grow and how each plant contributes to the overall design. As you work on developing these traits, remember that self-disciplined individuals aren't perfect. They face setbacks and challenges just like everyone else. The difference is in how they respond to these obstacles. They view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. It's like seeing a pest problem in your garden not as a disaster, but as a chance to learn better pest management techniques. Highly disciplined people also tend to be self-aware. They understand their strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. This awareness allows them to create environments and routines that support their goals. It's like a gardener who knows exactly which plants thrive in sun or shade and plans their garden accordingly. By understanding and cultivating these key characteristics of self-disciplined individuals, you're not just developing better habits. You're shaping yourself into a person who can consistently achieve their goals and live a more fulfilling life. Remember, becoming a self-disciplined champion is a journey. Each small step you take, each trait you nurture, brings you closer to mastering this powerful skill. Chapter 17, Your Journey to Self-Discipline begins now. As we come to the end of our journey together, you might be wondering, what's next on my path to self-mastery? Remember that self-discipline is not a destination you reach, but a lifelong practice you cultivate. Think of it as tending to a garden that is always growing and changing with the seasons. Let's recap some key strategies we've explored. You have learned the importance of setting clear, meaningful goals that align with your values. You have discovered how to break these goals down into manageable tasks, like planting seeds one by one in your garden of success. You have also seen how creating a supportive environment can nurture your self-discipline, just as the right soil and climate help plants thrive. Now it's time for you to take the next step. Start small, but start today. Choose one area of your life where you want to build more discipline. Maybe it's waking up earlier or spending less time on social media. Whatever it is, commit to it. Remember, consistency is key. Even on days when you do not feel motivated, show up and do the work. It's these small daily actions that will grow into lasting change.